And there were 3 major ways we showed the employee that they mattered. And those are the 3 things that I want you to remember and take with you today, because they made all the difference in the world. And the first is just around listening. That is what so many of us want when it comes to empathy. We just want to have a voice. We want to be heard. We want to know that we matter. And so the way I did that was on Wednesdays in my company, I wasn't Sherry, the CEO. On Wednesdays, I was just Lucy, a coworker. And anybody could sign up to have lunch with Lucy. They would choose the restaurant that we would go to. They would choose who might go with us to lunch. And then we just talked. They talked and I listened. So I asked them, questions about their lives. You won't believe all that I heard. I heard way too much about everybody's love life, but I heard about the real struggles that they were facing in the morning before they even got to the office, or the terrible things that they had to put up with at home at night when they went home. But I also learned what they thought of me as a leader and what they thought I was doing right and what they thought I was doing wrong, and I listened. And they knew I listened because I took action. And we even published our company's leadership meetings minutes. So we'd have our leadership meeting every week, and we had somebody taking minutes, and we posted it so everybody in the company could see what we were talking about. And if they had talked to me about a piece of machine that was causing them to have to stay late because it wasn't functioning, they saw I listened because they saw it was addressed right there in the next leadership meeting, that we were doing something about it. So that habit that I had, we called it Lunch with Lucy, became the most important time I spent growing my company. And I just want you to imagine what you might learn from your employees and from your coworkers if you just spent time listening to them. It is the greatest honor you can give somebody, just to listen, and not to listen with judgment, just listen to understand. The second thing that we did was around transparency. I know many of you are business owners, or you manage a team, and you want your team all to be contributing to the bottom line. You want everybody working together. But how can they do that if they don't really know what's going on behind the scenes? How can they help you build a more profitable company if they don't really understand how the company makes a profit? So what I did, which was very unorthodox, bring all the employees together every month in one room. We had lunch catered in. At first, it was in a small conference room, and then it became a room this big with all of our employees. We would have lunch catered in, and then I would share with them the financials from the previous month. We went over the P&L. So I told them to the penny how much money we brought in, and to the penny how much profit we made. And then we talked about the results, why the results of the bottom line were the way they were. Because if everybody had done everything they were supposed to do, the bottom line would be great. And if it wasn't so great, it's because somewhere along the line we skipped steps and we got sloppy. And so we weren't pointing fingers at the person who screwed up, because we all had a hand in it, but we knew so that we could make a difference. Number 3 was the best business idea I ever had in my life, and it's around a profit share plan. This is not like any profit share plan you've ever heard before. It was something that every employee could understand, that made sense, and it drove change, it drove behavioral change, but it, more than anything else, told them that they mattered as much as anyone else. So most profit share plans, and especially in corporate America, are done where you get your profit share once a year, and it's dependent on, it's a percentage of your salary. So the higher your salary, the more of the profit you're going to get. I didn't think that was fair, because you're already paid differently based on your skill set and your experience and your education. But your contribution to the bottom line is equal. So every month at that company meeting, we took the bottom line, whatever it was, we took 10% of it, and we split it evenly with everybody in the room. And that meant that our janitor, Harvey, got exactly the same thing our CFO, Jennifer, got. And that, more than anything else, made everybody work together and have empathy for one another and fill in for each other and cover for each other. And it made everybody care about waste. And so it really changed the trajectory of the company and made us more and more profitable, because everybody was keyed into it. And it was important that we did it monthly, because if you do it at the end of the month, everybody can remember all the events of the month. You can remember your behavior and what worked and what didn't work. And it was easier to tie it back to your actions and your inactions. That drove the bottom line bigger and bigger and bigger. So the very first profit share check we gave was $7. You can't even buy a six-pack with $7, right? But everybody hooted and hollered like we'd given them a new Lamborghini. They were so excited because they were working together on something. We did it together. And then the next one, it got a little better. It was like $70, and then it was $100, and then it was $700. And then it was over $1,000 every month. So if you're working in a factory and you're making $25 an hour, and every month you get an extra $700 or $1,000 or $1,500, let me tell you, that's game changing. The loyalty of those employees, they would do anything for one another and anything for me and I for them, because we developed empathy for one another.